tell you about the time that Kaiser Soze taught me that sometimes what's right in front of you is enough to do what it is that you need to do? What's up, good people? My name is Stacy, and Kaiser Soze, not necessarily the best person to learn from, but the point of today's video is that sometimes you can get good lessons even from bad situations or quote unquote bad people. That sometimes there's good lessons to be found even in the strangest of circumstances from the most interesting groups of people. And Kaiser Soze just happened to be one of those people. Now, if you've seen The Usual Suspects, then the name Kaiser Soze should ring a bell. Should be somebody you know. And if you haven't seen The Usual Suspects, well, you should go check it out. Because as much as I would like to go into depth about why Kaiser Soze taught me what he taught me, I just can't bring myself to put in any spoilers. What I will tell you is that he taught me improvisation, right? Improvisation. Where's the emphasis go in that sentence, on that word? But anyway, improvising is really an awesome strength to have. And it reminded me of a situation I had at work once where we had a subject matter expert leave the organization, and so I got to inherit the system that he was working on. And he had worked on the system probably for about 8, 9, 10 years. No documentation, no real support outside of him. It was kind of his pet project, and I inherited it. Way good for me. But the problem is that this piece of software, this application, it was woefully out of date. It didn't have a good upgrade path because it was so far behind. It was written in PHP, which I'm a huge fan of PHP, don't get me wrong. However, our tech stack had evolved and nobody really was well versed at PHP except for me, which is how I ended up inheriting the software. But the problem is that when and if the software didn't run properly, then the data that it produced wouldn't make it to our clients. And if the data didn't make it to our clients, we could potentially incur fines upwards of $10,000. Kind of important for this to run properly. So every day, I had to try to make sure that this thing was running right. And I didn't have any resources. I didn't have a quick way out. I was really kind of under the gun in some ways, because I swear it feels like as soon as he left, it started having all sorts of crazy problems. And it was starting to become insecure because the versions were so out of date. It couldn't be security patched to the latest version or anything like that. So lo and behold, again, I had to use what was right in front of me. And it was enough to do what it was that I had to do. And I was able to take pieces of the code and run them independently, and then kind of stitch it back together so that the main process could do what it needed to do, so that we can produce the output, send it to the clients, all by 10 o'clock in the morning, and everybody would be happy. So thanks, Kaiser Soze. I really appreciated that you taught me that lesson. But honestly, there's a lot of lessons we can learn from, kind of cinema, if you will. Some people like to call them villains or bad guys, or whatever it is. And if you want to check it out, I actually wrote a couple of blog articles. It's a 2-part series. I was thinking about adding a 3rd part. So if you check out those blogs and you think I should do a 3rd part, let me know. I'll work on it. And but it's leadership lessons despite bad intent. And my motivation and original idea for that was Darth Vader. And so I'd be interested to see how you guys see it. Do you feel like Darth Vader told us what to do, or did he teach us what not to do? Or maybe it's a little bit of both. Another one of my inspirations was Scar from The Lion King. And again, he knew his limitations. I think that was a positive trait. Of course, he had terrible intent and he murdered his brother. So problematic. So again, the thing about leadership abilities and talents is it's not just whether the thing is good or bad, or the skill is a good or bad skill. Because it takes both skill and character to make something useful. For example, I thought about Cruella de Vil for a minute. She demonstrated a lot of really strong characteristics, right? She was driven, she was committed, she went wholeheartedly into what she was doing, but she was evil. I mean, puppies for fashion. I hope I didn't spoil 101 Dalmatians for anybody. But again, none of those skills were necessarily bad skills. It was just how they were applied. So be mindful and make sure you're using your superpowers for good. And I would be really interested to know if you learned any good lessons from your movie Bad Guys. And stick around, subscribe to the channel, like it, share it. I kind of have a surprise coming in the next couple of videos or so, because as some of the people like to say now, it's October, it's spooky season, and happens to be one of my favorite seasons. And I'm going to be bringing some more leadership lessons from characters that, if you liked anything about this video, I think you'll appreciate it. I think you'll enjoy it. So like I said, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell, all those kind of things. And let me know. Drop it in the comments. What villain or bad guy should we take a look at next? Or, maybe you have a movie or a character that you think I should see. Has this ever happened to you where you needed to really work with what you had in front of you, that was all you really had, and you were still able to make it do what it needed to do? If you did, like I say, drop it in the comments. And this was kind of a quick video. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace and love. My name is Stacy. I'm out. Cue the music.
My name is Stacy. 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 My name is Stacy.